Brilliant.
Presentation. Yeah, fantastic. So, good morning, everybody. I'm going to talk very briefly about some of the AI that we use in all of our businesses periodically. So, AI is littered throughout all four of my businesses. I'll go into that this page. So, quick agenda. Gonna go for an intro from me. What is the AI and machine learning that we use, and why we integrated AI into our businesses, how we do it, the advantages and disadvantages of that. Going to try and squeeze in a live demo of me doing that, and hopefully some time for questions at the end. So, introduction. So, as digital marketing thought leader, speaker, trainer based in Northern Ireland, I pride myself on delivering impactful marketing insights and strategies to audiences across all industries. My unique position helps me provide perspectives on how businesses can navigate through the fluid digital landscape. To gain these insights, I draw from my experiences as an award-winning agency owner and entrepreneur. So the combination of theory and practice I offer provides a powerful framework for others to build off and apply to their own business strategies. Consistently humbled by the response I get when speaking at events or provide one-on-one consulting. This is what drives me every day. So at the bottom there, we can see the four companies that we use AI in. So Rightly is a digital marketing agency, social media sister, which I'll go into more detail because it was founded on AI. NI Influencers, and then my personal brand. So what is the AI and machine learning that we utilize? So our whole business is founded around AI copywriting tools. And specifically, we use a tool called Jasper.ai, which is a website. And Jasper AI is a robotic writer powered by cutting-edge AI technology that can curate content 5 times faster than an average human copywriter. Like that, those sorts of figures are literally transformational for our business. Jasper AI software works by taking the minimal information you give it and its knowledge base, which is based on GPT-3, like an open AI framework, to create content relevant to the topic that you're covering. So the way it works is that it has scanned 10% of the internet post 2019, and it's using that data to create outputs. So why we integrated AI into our businesses? Testing. So I first found out about AI copywriting tools in 2020, and the testing began by conducting analysis on the tools available. And at that time, there weren't that many. What they offered and the ease of use was initially for Rightly, the digital marketing agency. So using Jasper AI, we're able to reduce the time of creating the text of a social media post from 10 minutes to 2 minutes. You're able to reduce the time of creating the text for ad copy. So those are like ads you see on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, etc. From 16 minutes to 5 minutes. We reduce the time for creating a page of website copy from 60 minutes to 10 minutes. And an average 77% increased efficiency for copywriting tasks. So for me, like copywriting personally is the most boring part of my job. Like, I do not enjoy it. I enjoy the creative aspect, the designing. And the copywriting is essential in those processes, but I despise it. So this was essentially a tool that transformed our business. It changed everything, and it sparks so many different questions. So what can we use this for? What processes can we change and utilize this? How much time can it save us? How much money can it save us? And can it open up new business avenues? So AI has the power to do this, and there's so many AI tools out there, and it's growing at such a fast pace. So we could produce social media content faster than ever before. So we had a decision to make. Either one, integrate it into our current processes and increase the profit gap, or two, pass the savings on and introduce an affordable service that can't be matched pound for pound. So as business owners or key stakeholders in businesses, you're probably thinking, kind of like to do both. So that's what we did. We did both. We integrated it throughout Rightly instantly, and created a budget-friendly business that was separate. So, and this is where social media sister come in. This is my wife who left her job to pursue this venture. So, and we utilized this tool to introduce a brand new social media agency and concept to the UK and Ireland. We became one of 4 businesses throughout the whole of the UK and Ireland, starting monthly social media packages for just £99 a month. The main difference between our business model and the other 3 is that they outsourced the work to countries where labor was much cheaper. So at that time, we were the only people who were able to offer that sort of price point and also offer the quality and keep labor in our own country. So how we do it. So this is a live example from the AI tool that we use. You can see up in the top left, the company product name. I've literally put in Rightly as the company name. The product description is bespoke website builds. Tone of voice, I wanted to be excited. And we choose our output language. So on the right-hand side then, you see the outputs that this software has created for us. So I've spent approximately, maybe 10 seconds putting that information in on the left-hand side, and it spat out these 3 outputs on the right-hand side. So I'll read out the top one just in case you can't read it. So are you ready for a website that's truly unique? At Rightly, we build websites that are one of a kind. We start your vision and then work tirelessly to bring it to life. The result is a website that accurately reflects your brand and helps you stand out from the competition. If you're ready for a website that will help you take your business to the next level, click here to get started. So you can see that that has produced essentially a social media post promoting websites for our business. And it took, 30 seconds, perhaps. So here's another example. Used another element of our tool. It's called the paragraph generator. So what is your paragraph about? And I copied this first section from my website, and because this is in third person, ignored the keywords, and tone of voice, I put first person. And this is what I did at the very start of this presentation. And I literally copied and pasted exactly what it wrote. So I copied those first 2 paragraphs off my website, hit the generate button. And is it the top one I used? Yes. So that first output there at the very top on the right-hand side is what it spat out. And I copied it and pasted it and took away 1 sentence, I think. I think how much time that saved me. So advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, an AI writer can scan a vast amount of content and use it to feed. So we can also use this tool and feed it, say, a page of information, say 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 words. I think it actually goes up to 8,000. And it can summarize it for us. It can get the key points out of it for us. It can create content from that. And you no longer need to manually research and find new topics about which you are knowledgeable. So I could put in some information that perhaps a topic that I'm not knowledgeable about, like nutrition, and it could spit out a paragraph about nutrition, and I don't need to do any homework on it apart from fact check it. It uses existing proven frameworks, saving time by enabling AI to write high converting copy and content. AI systems are an affordable way to reduce time spent on tedious and overwhelming tasks. I'm sure we're all in the same boat. What AI does essentially is saves time and increases profits if used correctly. Yeah, so saves time and money. Disadvantages. So you miss out the creativity and innovation that comes from being in charge of your own content. That doesn't bother us so much because typically brands have a voice and we input that information in the tone of voice. So it's not so bad. It's important to have a human element, especially for ads. So ads should reflect the human side of your business, because you're trying to appeal to people and people respond to people. So we take the outputs from that, and typically we would change elements of it to suit our use case. Machines are not that good at making small talk or understanding cultural nuances. So we have a lot of slang in Northern Ireland, which it would not be able to cope with. So we will get that. If that is part of your brand voice, you would need to add that in. Probably still need to use a grammar checker. So we do that. I'm sure you've all heard of Grammarly. So typically when we're creating large paragraphs of text, we would fire the outputs of Jasper into like a Word document and run it through Grammarly just to correct anything that might have slipped through the net. It is a robot after all, so it is important to check its work. And Google are becoming fast aware of AI generated content and they're taking action on it. So as you can imagine, the internet is being flooded with AI generated content, and Google is very aware that it's happening, and they've recently started taking measures to stop it. People can generate pages and pages and pages, like hundreds of pages a day using this stuff, and the internet's getting flooded with poor quality, and Google are all over it and using their own AI to try and combat this. I could go into much more detail, but yeah, live demo. So let me switch my screen over to this. So this is what the homepage looks like for Jasper. This is a paid subscription, of course. It's a monthly thing. I think it costs us $120 a month, something like that. We are grandfathered into the plan though, so because I got on board early, there's certain perks and prices and stuff that are applicable to us that you can no longer get. But there's a free plan there. We can go and try it out as well. And I would highly recommend doing so if you could fit it into your business or you think it could save time. Typically there are, I don't know, maybe 35, 40 different sections we could click on here. And what these are pre-existing frameworks that we can use to create our copy. So let's click on, for example, Facebook add primary text. That was the post I made yesterday on my Facebook. So company name, let's stick in social media sister for a change. Product description, affordable social media management, and excited. And in tone of voice, we can obviously put in excited, professional, anything you can think of. We can also put in like celebrities in there, and it can speak on how celebrities would speak. So it'll scan like their tweets, their website, their social media profiles, and captured how they've put together sentences and output generations based on that. Typically, we use a mix of excited and professional and hit generate. So I'm going to get 3 outputs here on the right hand side. So let me move this away. With robots and AI, not everything is perfect for us using this tool. So we do have to take some of the generations with a pinch of salt. And that's why we get the choice of having more than one. Top one, I'm going to disregard it. because it's too small. Second one, though, are you ready to take your business to the next level? If you're looking for affordable social media management, look no further than Social Media Sister. We provide tailored services that help you increase your following, boost engagement, and drive sales. In this uncertain time, it's more important than ever to have a strong online presence that has helped grow your business and reach your goals. Click here to learn more about our services and get a free quote. So once you have, let's say, a social media strategy and you know what you're going to create content on for, let's say, 12 posts throughout the month, creating the copy for the text is such a quick process for us. I'm sure there are other companies out there that also utilize this software, and it's becoming more and more popular as time goes on. But there are so many different uses for this, and we have not fully utilized all of them. There's so much more we could be doing, but we've stuck to what we know and expanded upon it. So how are we doing for time, Gillian?
You've 10 or 15 more minutes, Josh,
if you want. Excellent. Okay, great. So I can input, let's go for another example of paragraph generator, which would be one of my favorite tools. So let's say we were creating content for a website, and I'm going to choose cleaning, let's say power washing. Providing power washing services in Northern Ireland. Let's say I'm creating a website and I've got a paragraph to write to make it unique. I'm going to include my keywords in here, which may be power washing in Northern Ireland, because that's what I want to show up for on Google. Tone of voice is always going to be professional, 9 times out of 10. Generate. So what it's going to do is generate 3 different paragraphs that I can choose from. And I could copy this, fire it into Grammarly, double check it, and make tweaks where I need to. So let's read the top one. We offer power washing services in Northern Ireland to help transform your workspace. Through our power washing techniques, you can improve the appearance of any area with minimal effort. Our team is highly experienced with power washing and has the professional expertise necessary to deliver outstanding results. We take pride in our commitment to meeting customer expectations, whether it's a car park, driveway, garden, furniture, or patio. We guarantee superior power washing that leaves places looking as good as new. Get in touch now and we can discuss how power washing from us can revitalize your home and business premises. So think how quickly we could put together copy on many different use cases. It could be flyers, could be social media, it could be websites, could be ads, could be blog posts for your website. And how quickly we can fire this information together. So I'm going to open up for questions. Is that better?
Yeah. If you want to, you can unmute yourself and shout out and ask Josh, or you can put it in the chat. I keep an eye on the chat as well. And I gave it a sort of question, Josh. I know that you know, there's all these AI tools. Everyone's putting up all the AI artwork that they're creating, and some of it is absolutely terrifying. I mean, some of it's lovely, but some of it's really, really scary. I think actually some of it's not allowed to be shown because it's so scary. But I suppose you were saying about Google cracking down on this. I know people are creating AI novels, and I suppose that's the sort of content you're talking about. It's not, you know, people just trying to get, you know, small adverts or whatever. It's this, as you're saying, it's the internet flooded with rubbish.
Yeah. So what people are doing is let's put in something generic. How AI tools can help my business. So what you'll find, especially when we're talking about AI, is that people, I would guarantee all this stuff is written by AI. And this is what Google are cracking down on. So typically they want the voice to be unique. They want to see your nuances in there. They want to have live examples, but what people are doing is literally taking the outputs from this stuff and firing it straight in to blog posts to help them rank on Google, which it will do temporarily until they get a proper grasp of it. But yeah, if anybody wants me to put and create outputs in here, I can certainly do this for them.
Has anyone any like about us or anything from their website they want to fire in to the chat, and Josh could give it a go? Fired in, and like, I mean, I know for some.
So it's Nicole speaking.
Yes, Nicole.
I do have a quick question. I know you briefly touched on keywords and that there with Google. Is that like a specific feature, obviously, of AI that so obviously within our business, we want to be like tapping into the keywords for our industry. You see the paragraph that's generated, is that obviously doing exactly what people's trying to nail, as in your keywords for the likes of Google and for marketing purposes?
Yeah, it can be, yeah. So we can ask it to include keywords. So it's important that you've already got your keyword research done before coming into this tool. Typically with services and places, these are always going to be your sorts of keywords that you're going to input. And it's important that those are included in your copy on your website on those particular pages. But there are some of the tools here that don't include this keywords bit. So you may need to add it in manually from the outputs. But yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
And there are so many AI tools out there at the minute. Typically, they're all using the same framework. So Jasper is using what they call GPT-3 at the minute. GPT 3.5 has just released, and they are very quickly trying to switch over to using that, because there are competitors that are already using that. And typically what we're seeing from that is longer outputs. We're seeing higher quality outputs as well. And what they will do soon is include coding into the outputs that are being generated out on the right hand side here. And this is how Google's going to start cracking down on it. So they're very much in Google's court in terms of trying to control this on Google solely. But in terms of your website, it's completely fine as long as you're using like the paragraph generator and still adding to it. Social media posts is 100% fine. Emails is 100% fine. Flyers is 100% fine. There's so many use cases. I'm sure you've seen this. You could maybe apply it to your own businesses as well, of how this could help save time and money for you guys too.
I think it's good as well, because I noticed that it was putting a call to action in, and I know you know, I read people's posts on LinkedIn and whatever, and they've done a great post and then they haven't put anything on at the end, and it's like, I think people are nearly scared to add a call to action, or they just don't realize, you know, what do you want people to do after they've read this post? And it's just maybe even that sort of good practice of, you know, maybe it gives you the content and you can tweak it and add your own, you know, you were saying about the nuances, and especially, oh Jesus, in Northern Ireland, I mean, you really would have to be careful, because there's some words are could really offend. We love to be offended here, but you know, it's added that it's got it in that format, you know, the maybe the what, the so what, the now what, you know, because people they know their business and they know what the value of what they can deliver, but sometimes they just need that help of getting that content right.
Yeah, exactly. And there are tons of frameworks there that we can use as well. And these are frameworks that have been proven to generate conversions. So we have the likes of AIDA and PASS. So AIDA would be like attention, interest, desire, and action. And we're splitting those up into paragraphs, and I can generate sales copy directly from that. So yeah, really fantastic tool. Like
I was just going to say, you can really see the benefit. You know, it is, as you say, it's a really great tool, and especially if a company, you know, a manufacturing company or an engineering company or whatever, or you know, a small business is so busy trying to deliver product and service customers, whatever, they don't have time to be sort of, how do I write great content now to get make sure the pipeline is strong.
Yeah, exactly. And typically, like, we want to, like, social media is a chore, right? It is, but we have to do it because we have to have a presence there. So we can sit down, you know, for half a day and blast out a month's worth of content, you know, and that's all it takes. And schedule it throughout the month. So there are so many use cases for this that we created a whole business because of it. There are similar tools now. Jasper does do it for art, so it can create images depending on your requests too. And there's a lot of these artworks that are being put on like Adobe Stock and Freepik and Unsplash, all those sorts of websites where we get free photographs from. Yeah,
I use Canva a lot, and I see now they have an image generator.
So do they?
But, yeah.
Oh, very good.
I have the premium version, so maybe but you can see it. I tried it out.
Yeah.
Underwhelmed, but anyway, I mean, it's really launched, I think. And I'm very hard because I love Canva. But that, I mean, even that is an AI tool. I think people don't realize as well. Just a lot. I mean, you mentioned Grammarly. There's so many AI tools that people are already using that they maybe don't even realize are based on AI. Does anyone else have questions for Josh? Or any observations or any experience of using tools like this?
I had a quick question, if I can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting into architecture for large networks, so like petabytes of data. I'm looking for some sort of like AI tool that would be able to interface with a database. So like you can ask the database a question and the AI will pull the data and formalize it in some sort of legible speech, so you can kind of like figure out what's going on with this database, why is it having a problem, and what can I do about it. Is this kind of like technology even existing anymore, or does it exist yet, or is this like on the new? Is it going to be developed, or do you know anything about it, basically?
Matthew, is that, what sort of database are you pulling it from? Is it from your internal? I missed that wee bit, sorry.
Right. So say I have a client that has a database that they're doing that's collecting data on their operations, say like a call center, right? And you ask when you go to, instead of looking at all this code that is used to, like, I don't know, lines of Linux, you know, designed for one function, or CLI and stuff like that, I want to be able to ask the database questions in English and have the AI return the question from scanning that database in English, if that makes sense.
Okay. I say Priyanka would probably be able to answer that because she's an academic. But I'm not is the database is unstructured data, or I mean, you mentioned Linux. Is it collecting like data from sites, or from architectural, like actual buildings, or is it people's feedback, or what sort of data is it?
We're talking like just website like networking architecture. So kind of like security, protecting against DDoS attacks, stuff like that. What was I going to say? The database it's going to be bespoke to each company that you're working for, because each company is going to have whatever need they have.
So
but
sort of
the storage,
cybersecurity AI.
yes,
Go ahead.
the storage of that data is all the same, and you can store that all in the cloud. The problem that I found just from messing around with it is that you're dealing with lines and lines and lines of data. It's just like if you've taken the time to read up on Linux or PowerShell scripting and stuff like that, it'll make sense to you. But even then, it takes hours.
So scanning for vulnerability, like artificially intelligence to
Just
scan
ask
for
a question
vulnerability.
like, have there been any I don't know, has anyone forgotten their password today or something like that, and it'll pop up and say, this computer at this workstation has tried to log into that computer 15 times.
There is, I know there's a company who, I'm sure there are other ones, but there's a company based in Dublin and also Italy, for Securitas, and that's the sort of thing it does. It just scans and says, here's something really odd happening, or here's somebody, exporting a load of files, or here's somebody, this is odd. So I can pick the link into that. So it's, if you can summarize that question and type it to me. Sorry, when you said architecture, I thought you meant like drawing houses rather than
Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
no. So if you can type me that question, I can find out more for you. But I know what you mean. It's sort of like artificial intelligence, just checking that what's going on in the background is not bad, basically. But yes, there's Donal from For Securitas. I can if you type me the question, but I'm also part of NI Cyber, and there's lots of companies that I can ask your question to as well to get you a better answer than the one I've just given you. It's all right.
I'll type it in something that's required less waffling. So I'll put it in the chat there for you.
I just misunderstood you at the beginning. Sorry. That's why I nodded. Perfect. No, that's a really good question as well. And maybe we can bring it up. I know a lot of her background is in using artificial intelligence in health and stuff like that. But she's a lecturer in data analytics and artificial intelligence. So okay. Any more questions for Josh before we take a break? You can shout out or put it in the chat there. But Josh, that was brilliant. Thank you very much. I didn't really realize just how much that tool did and what artificial intelligence can help with on the marketing side. Because it's a side that people really need help with, because it's not obviously people's skill set. They're when they're running a different business. So we'll have a break for half an hour. So if we come back at 11:15, and we'll hear then from Gareth from FP McCann, and it's a very, very different use of AI. It's in a very industrial use, but how they've used AI to spot. This is not a good summary, but really, if a pipe is cracked or isn't smooth inside and things like that, but it's really transformed what they're doing, and it's a really interesting case study. So if we come back at 10:45, and Josh, thank you very much. And if anyone has questions, Josh has his contact details there, or you can send them to me and I can forward them on. So I'm going to, Josh, if you can make me host again, I'll pause the recording and we'll come back at 10:45.
Yep. Will do. How do I do that, Dylan?
Oh, so if you go to my script, where my wee faces, my wee box, and if
Yeah.
you go up to the 3 buttons,